Hello everybody and nobody, this is Dawn People number 24, written by Van Morrison. This is the best Dawn People comic I have ever read, and it's also one of the few Dawn People comics I have ever read. This one, it's about Piedmon here, who is a great villain. He's one of the Dark Masters, and he has captured two members of the Dawn People, Mummy Mon and Robot Man Brendan Fraser's. He's crucified them, and I don't know why these Dawn People comics always have the characters be crucified. This is really good though. Not only is it Van Morrison, but it's got a fairly simplistic plot of heroes fighting against a bad guy, and it's always nice to see these moments where Van Morrison just plays down, where he kind of lowers his bar and he just does straightforward superheroics. I've not read the rest of his run, but I imagine it's full of the usual esoteric wackiness, and this is like a great little interlude where he just does a normal superhero story. Mummy Mon here is exploring Piedmon's house, and so is a woman or a very feminine man. And actually I take back what I said. This little sequence here is the usual esoteric wackiness of Van Morrison. I think this is meant to be like a look at Piedmon's origin, but it's like abstract surrealism. We got a naked fat bloke in a hat. He has a plate of hands for his dinner, but the hands, they're gonna have him for dinner. Take that description there and send it to an art gallery and they'll fucking love it. But this is what I like: superheroes and superhero books. Robot Man Brendan Fraser's really funny guy. He is fighting Piedmon and it's a great fight. Like, genuinely, it's really exciting. Piedmon, he is a deluded megalomaniac who thinks that he is God. He also wants to marry a woman who is in a coma. And this is serious. And Robot Man Brendan Fraser's, he's not very funny in this, but he's trying to fight him. And he's not really a match because Piedmon, he's like a mega level Digimon. And Robot Man, at best, he is a champion. Piedmon, he's spouting some regular Van Morrison dialogue for a character with a messiah complex. You know, I drowned the last whale, there's now I can't do. That sort of thing. And then Mummy Mon, there's some disambiguity about what level he actually is. I think he is meant to be an ultimate level Digimon, but then in the Japanimation, in season 2, Mummy Mon had two different forms, and it was presented as like, well, this version here being his mega form, and he digivolved to this. But as you'll see later in this comic, he digivolves again. But I do really like Robot Man Brendan Fraser's getting beaten up. This is a great comic for all those mean critics who thought that Furry's Revenge was terrible and devoid of anything close to humour. Van Morrison actually writes Robot Man Brendan Fraser's really well. Not very funny, but really well. Mummy Mon, he jumps in to join the fight, so Piedmon impales him on spikes. Then he tears off Brendan Fraser's arm. It's a bit like that film, Bedazzled. It's like Brendan Fraser's character asked Elizabeth Hurley's to be like really strong and muscular to impress that ugly lass that he fancied. And then he was granted his wish, but the twist was that someone tore his arm off. So then Mummy Mon digivolves into his mega form and he fights Piedmon, and it's more of a fair fight because they're the same rank. And what about the lassie in a coma? Well, she starts coming to during a fight and gets her revenge on Piedmon by stabbing him in the back with a knife. Then Piedmon explodes into a bunch of butterflies, because that is how the Digimon died in the cartoon. And as he dies, he has a Van Morrison philosophical final word. You know, I drowned the last whale. That sort of stuff. And we end with the Dawn people wondering if Piedmon really was God like he claimed. And they decide that they could not care less. This is brilliant. It's a great mix of classic superhero versus supervillain stuff, with some Digimon, and with Van Morrison's usual habit for more cerebral, mind-bendy stuff, like I drowned the last whale, stuff like that. A solid 7 thumbs up from me.